Yes. So we're talking data structure, and what we said is that when you, these are some of the basic operations that you need to learn when you talk about data structure, right? So first thing is traversing. So if you create a list, you create a tuple, you create a dictionary, you should be able to iterate through this. You should be able to access the elements one by one. So you can do it using,
So
yeah,
the iteration thing that we did last class.
correct, correct.
Oh.
So you either use loop to iterate
Mm-hmm.
or the iter
Mm-hmm.
thing to
Okay.
iterate, right?
Okay.
So you should be able to access each member of the of the structure, data structure. Then you should be able to insert, okay? You should be able to insert a new member. That's what append does, right? In list or update in your dictionary, right? So you should be able to add new member to that operation. So when you learn something new, right? When you learn about list, these are the things you should know these how to perform these things. That's when you know that you have kind of know that structure. So once we learn the structure, then we will see the implementation part in the second half of our training. Then is deletion. If you don't like a member, okay, you should be able to, okay, let me say traverse. I want to have the same form of the verb. Insertion, deletion. Okay. Next would be update, right? Insert, delete, update. So we say updation, right? Or I don't know if updation is the word or not. Update, let's say. And then search. You should be able to search for a specific value. So how to traverse, insert, delete, update, and search through a list through any data structure. Okay. So today we will talk about, okay, another data structure, which is called as array. So we do have array equivalent of Java in Python. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how it is created and used. So far what we have seen list, tuple,
Set.
set,
Um.
dictionary,
Yeah.
right? I think these are the things that we have seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about arrays. So to use array, we need to import. Okay. So we need to import array. Okay. So I'm going to say import array. Okay. Now we need to initialize or create an array, right? So if you want to create and initialize array. So I'll say ARR1, something like that, equal to, okay, array dot array. Okay, this is the constructor. Okay, to initialize, we need to call the constructor, right? So array dot array, and then it takes two parameters here. Okay, first it takes the data type, and you see here small b, capital B, small h, capital H, L, L, Q, Q. These are the initialization. Okay, so B stands for byte. Okay, small stands for signed, and capital stands for unsigned. Unsigned is no plus minus, it's all plus. Signed means it has plus and minus sign. So B for binary, C for character, right? You don't have C here, right? C for character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you have I for integer, F for float. Okay. And yeah. Okay. So this is how first we have to initialize and say what kind of data I'm going to use. So I'll say signed integer. So I. Okay. Now you give the values in terms of list. These are your basic data structure. Everything, all the other data structure is based on these things. So now you give list of values. Okay. So list of values, let's say I give 10, 50, 20, 90, 30, 40, 70, comma 60. Okay, let's say these are the values in the array. Okay, so this is how you initialize. Now we need to know how to perform traverse, insertion, and search, right?
Hmm.
So
So what's the difference between array and list then, sir?
yes, we'll see that. Okay, once we see what how we use array, and then we'll talk about the difference. Okay, then you should be able to tell me the difference. Okay, now to traverse, it is same like list. So for I in
Array.
array 1, print I, right?
Mm-hmm.
So see, in list, okay, you are forced to give, I mean not forced, you can give data of different types, isn't it? The list does not restrict you from giving multiple types. You can have a list in the list, you can have Boolean string, but
Mm-hmm.
array is a way to force your list to have same data type.
Okay.
Okay. It's a way, if you want your list to have same data type, then you better use as array. See, it
Mm-hmm.
says bad type code because these are not characters,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you are forcing in a way to use same data type for your list. So it's a special type of list, you can say.
Okay.
Okay. So this is about traversing. Next is insert. How do I insert a member? So
Mm-hmm.
you have insert command itself.
Okay.
Okay. So you say array1 dot. Okay. So you see index is to find. Okay. Insert is to add. So insert. Um, okay. Now see, insert takes. Okay. Before I tell you, okay, let's try
Mm-hmm.
to insert a value called 55. Okay, and what I'll do is I will print here array at the last so that I don't have to use print every time. Okay, see here. It expected two arguments, got one,
Mm-hmm.
922. Okay, so you need to give the
Repeat where you
position.
inserted also.
Yeah, so you say 3 comma. So see 0, 1, 2, 3, 55. So it's like insert in list only. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so only difference is that it is a you're forcing it to behave like a single this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then to remove something, okay, remove a value, delete a value, we have remove. So let's say I want to remove 90. I'll say remove 90. Okay, 90 is gone. Right? Update. I want to update a member. Okay, how do I update it? Okay. Now, before that, let's just like you do the initialization, right? Okay. I talk about here accessing. I want to access first member, second member, pretty much same as list. So print AR ARR1 of 2, right? So I'll say here accessing third member from the arrays. Okay. The third member is 20, right? Third member is 20. Okay. Next is we said update, right? So update is um is very simple. Update, updating third member. Okay, you simply say array 2 of equal to 77. So you see, third member is 77, directly equal to. Now, if I try to give it 77.0,
Also false, doesn't matter.
yeah, cannot be interpreted as integer because we gave height there. Yeah. So this is how you update a member. Okay. Now, how do we search for a member? Index is used for search. Okay. So index is used for search. So you have print, okay, array1 dot index, and I gave, let's say, 60. Position of 60 in the array. Okay, 7. Now, if I say 600, is not in the array. Okay, so you have to be careful here before you check. So if I say array1 dot count, so first you do the count and then you perform index. Okay, how many 60s are there? How many 600 are in the array? Okay, and I'll put 600. Now, when it says 0, that's when you know that you should not perform index. So before performing index, look for the count of the value. Okay. Yeah. So we have seen what are the functions. We have seen insert. Okay, insert function,
Remove function,
index function,
index function, remove
remove,
function.
count, right?
Yeah.
And when you have to deal with updating, simply equal to, right?
Yeah.
Accessing is again similar as the way you would do. All the data structure is same way we access.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we will see, two-dimensional array, right? Your two-dimensional array is like your two-dimensional list actually. Okay. The two-dimensional array is two-dimensional list. So let's say, okay, so I'm going to put some, okay, let me move this to this one here. Okay. Okay, coming back here. Now we'll talk about two-dimensional array, which is two-dimensional
List.
list. Okay. Now, um, here, okay, using array. Okay. So now if I say here, import array, okay, just like we did import array there. Now, in importing array, okay, if I have to deal with two-dimensional array, right? So what I'll do, I will say td, okay, let's say I use td equal to now list here. Now, so one thing I have to keep in mind here is the number of values in each should be same. Okay, so let's say you want to capture temperature of a day at 4 times in a day, right? So let's say you want to capture time at every 6 hours, right? So you'll have
Mhm.
like 10 p.m., then 10 plus 6, 4 a.m., then 10 a.m., then 4 p.m., let's say.
Mhm.
Okay. So each day will have 4 values, correct? Or you have 4 things that you want to track, right? Let's say you grow 4 vegetables in your or 4 fruits in your farm. So you
Mhm.
want to capture the sales of each of the 4 fruits for every month, every quarter. So the number of members in each row has to be same. So let's say if I have 4 days data or 4 months data or 4 quarters data, and each of them will have same values, right? Now I'm capturing same value, right? So if I'm capturing temperature, it will be temperature, right? Temperature cannot be text in one and integer in second. Talking
Mhm.
about the dollar value that you are selling each of your fruit, it will be dollar in each of those things, right? So here I can say 34, 54, 67, 89, right?
Mhm.
Here again, let's say 12, 87, 34, 54. Here you can have 10, 40, 20, 30. Here you can have 11, 55, 22, 33. Okay, so this is your two-dimensional list. Now I want to add next data. Okay, so this is for your 4 months of data, right? I need to add another set of data at the last. So, okay, so I'll say td dot, okay, um, okay, so I have to declare this as array. Uh, okay, so I'll
Mhm.
use same thing here. Array dot array, and let's me use I itself, right? Hmm. Okay. Now I'll say td dot td1 insert. td1 dot insert, which position? Last value, right? You want to add the next day of data. Okay, did I
Mhm.
get it right? Okay, just a second. List cannot be interpreted in integers. Yeah, it's a list, so wrong. I can simply say td equal to td here. Okay, I don't have to. Yeah, right. And here, if I say td1 dot insert, now the next day, month of data, next quarter of data, next day of data. So I'll say 78, 75, 74, 73.
Instead of saying td dot insert -1, can't you just do td dot append? td1 dot append.
You can do that. Okay. But purposely I'm not doing because we are going through the strictly those 4 process.
Okay, okay.
Append will work because it's a list, right? Append will work.
Mhm. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, you're right. But we are trying to go through the data structure. So we'll say that okay, specific to which if of course even in array if you go, you'll have all the other functions as well.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay, you have count, append, pop, clear, reverse, right? Same as your list,
Mhm.
but we are trying to learn from the operations that we will need in future from that perspective. Of course, here it has its own set of values here. Pop, clear, reverse would reverse the list. Okay, you have append here also,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, here you see you can append here also. Okay, so yes, so it is very much like this. Does that you are forcing it to have same type of data. That's all. Okay. So your insert is there. Then how do you delete? Okay. So
Mhm.
you can delete using del keyword. Okay, so
Del.
this is,
Okay, okay.
yeah, add another set, insert, I'll call it as insert. Okay, and as I said, let me print the output here. So print current to the list equal to, so see, it is exactly like list. We have modified it to store two-dimensional values, right? So we are seeing that if you have a situation where you have to deal with same kind of values over multiple days, multiple years, multiple quarters, this is how you have to use.
Mhm.
That's it. Okay, so it's like same stuff. You know, the things that we did in those four basic structure, same thing. We are now, see, at basic, okay, even to, you know, array and all those things. These are the four basic things. Everything is based on, okay, these four only. Okay, at the core of any data structure apart from those four is based on those four only. We are
Mhm.
trying to modify those four for a specific purpose. So here purpose is I want to store my production of my fruits for every month or every quarter. Or as a, let's say you work at weather department and you want to measure 4 times temperature for forever, right? You do
Mhm.
it forever. So every 6 hours you measure and you save it in some data which can be used by other departments.
Mhm.
So yeah, so here I'll say TD1. So when you run it, you get, so our, see, our 78, no, okay, 78 got added here in second last position.
Shouldn't -1 be last version?
It should be at the last, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so if I do TD -1, let's say, it is giving the last position. Then why insert? Okay, so instead of that, let me do this. Len of TD1, length of TD1 -1. Okay. When I say -1 also, it is adding there. Okay. Ah. So if I say TD1 of 0, got the first 0, 1, 2, 3. Len of this should be 4. So it is getting added. Okay. Yeah, see, sometimes I get confused. Here you see, in list, what happened was, in list, when you declare 4 values, it will remain 4 only. You know, you don't have position to look at the next one. Here, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
if I say 4, it got added at 4, even without doing append or insert.
Oh.
Okay. Because now if I try to do something like that in list, it will not work. Because you only have to insert, or sorry, you have to only update on the values that you have. So here, you know, it got added at the 4. So that's why when we do -1, it is taking, you know, it is going at this, I don't, you know,
Second
so
last.
second last. Yeah. So you have to be careful about it. Yeah. Then update, very simple. Update is very similar to what we have seen. I can say TD, TD2, right? TD1, sorry. TD1 of, let's say we want to replace this. Okay, so we'll say TD1 of 2, okay, equal to Okay, we'll say 42. We'll just change one value. Okay, so you got updated here. Deleting. Okay, now you simply say del td1 of, say, 1. 1 should be 1287, right? This should
Mhm.
go away. So you can delete using this, right? So this is how you handle two-dimensional array.
So,
Hmm.
sir, for TD1 dot insert length of TD1, you added the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how can we add like the middle or something?
Yeah, you can use that number.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was
Okay.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can use that index. Like, so from 0 to n, you can use,
Okay,
right?
but you can't use -1 or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, -1 is giving problem, but you can
Okay.
use from left to right, not a problem. Okay. So this is how you will use two-dimensional array. So I'm going to move this away. Now let's talk about something called as map here. Okay. Or sometimes we also refer this as chain map. Okay. Um, so it is based on dictionaries actually. So what we have seen so far, your array is based on list. This map is based on dictionary.
Mhm.
Based on dictionaries. Okay. So what we do here, okay. Um, okay. So to work with maps, we need to import collections. Okay. Import collections. Now, let's say, let's say let's declare a dictionary. Okay, so I'm going to say D1 equal to mm, key colon value, right?
Mhm.
So name name equal to, let's say, Sachin. Okay. Um, city equal to, let's say, Mumbai. Key colon value. Key colon value. Oh, colon.
Mhm.
And let's say age, okay, equal to colon, let's say 50. Okay. Now we'll have D2, and here we'll add some extension to this. So let's say sports colon hockey. Okay. Mm, team colon, let's say India. Goals colon, let's say 322. Okay. So let's
Mhm.
say these are the two dictionaries I have. Now, how do I create a map? Okay, or chain map.
Mhm.
So we can club them together to form chain map.
Okay.
Okay, so here, okay, mm, I'm going to say something like output equal to, you have collections dot, and you have chain map here.
Mhm.
So chain map, and then I'll say D1 comma D2. Okay.
Mhm.
So now if you want to see the output, you say print output dot maps. Okay. Now see the output. What do we get here? So see, this is a list. So it took your dictionary and it took another dictionary and did not merge them together. It created a list of dictionaries. So it's taking the value and keep on adding as a list. So chain map is adding your dictionaries as a list here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now if I have to print, okay, um, uh, if I have to print the values, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before values, let's talk about the keys and keys, okay? Or keys and values separately. So I'll say here, print, okay, your keys equal to, and then I'll say comma here, your list of, correct? List of, because output will be in list form, right? So
Mm-hmm.
list of your output dot keys. So see, this output, which is a list, also has a method called keys.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it is different than your other list. Output, so output is a form of list, but list will not have keys, right? List does not have keys. Keys is a function of or method of dictionaries.
Mm-hmm.
But since we converted into chain map, so chain map is a list which is used in dictionary format.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, right? That's what I'm saying. The basic is same, base is same, and
Yeah.
on top of that, we are building different data structures so that we can use them based on our different
Meaning.
situation.
Okay.
So output.keys, if I run it, okay, so see, it gave us all the keys. Now here, it did not differentiate between first dictionary and second dictionary. You see that?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sports, team, and goals is from different dictionary.
Yeah.
Name, city, age is from different one.
Mm-hmm.
So in storage, it is storing separately.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say give me the keys, it got the keys from all the dictionaries and gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So okay. So in fact, you can build your own data structure. Okay, and that's how it is actually. Okay. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
say if chain map was not there, and if you had a need of doing something like that, you could have created your own um, you could have created your own class, okay,
Okay.
called chain map, and added these methods. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you need a specific way, okay, of handling data, you can, and let's say if, and that's why we study all these things, right? We study because we will know, okay, we don't have to remember by heart all of this. You just have to remember, okay, this is what chain map does. This is
Mm-hmm.
what this does. But if you were not aware of chain map, and if you were to use such operation, you would have created your own class. So it's like reinventing the wheel, right? So already chain map is there. Then why do you want to create your own chain map, right? So if you know there's a chain map, okay, then you can probably do Google, go to python.org, and you can learn about chain map, right? So the intention here is that to be aware of all of this. We are not going to use all of this everyday life, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
once in a year, once, twice in a year, you'll use couple of these. Or if you are based on your job, you might be using chain map only for rest of your project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't use all of them at every time. Okay. Okay. So coming back here, so this is a list format of dictionary, and you are able to give keys and values to the dictionary that we have created.
Mm-hmm.
So you say values equal to output dot here values again. So now look at the values. Okay. So value is okay, hockey, India, goals, Sachin, Mumbai, and age 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then what else? You want to iterate through this? You can iterate items, right? We discussed about
Mm-hmm.
items. Let's do items also. Dot items. You see, item will give you pair of key comma value, key comma value. And since the output we are formatting into list, right? So we can use for loop just like we do on a list.
Mhm.
Okay. We will use in function. There's in operator, not function, in operator. And we'll see how in operator is used. Okay. Now in operator, you want to say if the value of um, let's say city. Okay, I want to know the city value. So I'll say value at city equal to, okay, our output, okay, output, okay. Now,
Mhm.
the output here you say city in output,
Mhm.
city in output. So sorry, this is not the value. Value we can get directly here. Output city. In is used to check. So if I do output of city, we get the value. But is city in the map? Okay. So you will get city in map. Is city in the map? Yes, it is there. So you get true.
Oh, so it's a Boolean way. Okay.
It's a Boolean. Yes.
Not use give false.
Yes. Now let's say if I want to find city one. Okay, just like to find index, it's like
Mhm.
index, like searching. So to find index, okay, if you do index of unknown value, you get error, right?
Mhm.
Here also get error. So you don't want error to get, right? So instead you check. If it is true, only then you print the value. Otherwise, you
Okay.
can say the value is, not there in the map,
Yeah.
right? So you perform true and then you check if value is there in the map or not.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm, what do we do next? Okay, update is still pending, right? We have not done update. Update is again very simple. I want to change city to Pune, let's say, or to Hyderabad. You can
Mhm.
simply say city equal to Hyderabad. Okay. And now if I say print output, city is Hyderabad. It got modified, right? Pretty much that's it.
Okay.
And